Alrighty then, Successful Indie Author, 5-Minute Focus, episode 708, The Fog of Today and the Clarity of Tomorrow. Look at him. There's my good boy. Alright, The Fog of Today and the Clarity of Tomorrow. The first report is always wrong. This was our maxim when I served in the Marine Corps. Whenever a report came in from the front lines, whenever a report came in from intelligence collection assets, we assumed that the first report was always wrong, as in not completely wrong, but there were elements of it that were not exact. And this is the same with all media, everything. That first report is almost always wrong. So the best view is how history sees it. So as people research and get different viewpoints, they finally come to a conclusion of this is what happened, or this is going on, or this is this. Well then, that's not the best way to do it, because sometimes we have to react today to what we see today. And that's the challenge. You have to look at it, you visualize what's the end state, and how are you responding to it, and how are you going to be judged for responding to it. This is the microcosm of our existence. As authors, we can put that into words and into writing and set people up, and then you have that big twist because, oh, this wasn't true, that first report. It's a maxim. It's just is. So you don't want to be on the wrong side of history, but jumping on a bandwagon right away could be detrimental to your future health, because history. Roger Ebert, Siskel and Ebert, right? They critiqued movies. We saw them introduce movies on TCM or AMC or whatever the channel was for decades. Well, they critiqued movies. Think about them looking at your life, looking at your books, and they're critiquing you. Yeah, but how many do you write? Doesn't matter. Critics critique. And they are the ones who write the history. Winners write the history. Well, the critics. When it comes to us, artists, entertainers, creatives, critics write the history. So what are they going to say about you? Don't be on the wrong side of history. However, you don't have to answer. You don't have to respond right now. I know this was a big thing that I jumped on in March of 2020, was how will history judge you? And how will you judge yourself? Probably more harshly. As time goes on, you realize that you might have been wrong. You might have been flame-throwing for no reason. You might have abandoned friends. You might have bad-mouthed friends. How is history going to judge you? It's a great way to look at what you're doing right now to help you be better for when those critiques come about your work later. So people will say it's the butterfly effect. Okay, a butterfly flapping its wings is not going to cause a hurricane. However, small changes can lead to big results. So what small changes can you make today so those critics in the future will be kind? That's it. So if you wrote one book, if you wrote 2 books, but if you wrote 100 books, it gives them a lot more fodder to work through, and they can nitpick, but then they're going to find some good books too, some damn good books. Because how do you get better with anything? Practice. So practice, get better, and then all of a sudden, guess what? You've got some great books out there that critics, that fans decades in the future can embrace and say, yes, this was a great story. Boy, I got so much out of it. And they can discuss it. And your heirs will benefit from those conversations, as now they're buying books for reading clubs, for book clubs that are really book clubs and not fronts for illegal investing or anything weird like that. So what are you going to change today for history to better judge you? And they will. History, we always look back and say, oh my God, look at that. How horrible was that? Yeah, let's not be horrible today. So do your best. Little changes lead to big results. And if you watch if you read sci-fi and watch sci-fi movies, those time travel ones where, hey, you can't meet yourself, you can't meet your mom, you're going to change all of history. Star Trek, the Federation won't exist if you talk to yourself. If that little thing can make that big of an impact, then what little things can you do today? All right, think about that. history judges, and you can influence that by doing the right things now. Peace, fellow humans.